Hi. Welcome back to the Chasing Tone. I can't even do it. Welcome back to the Chasing Tone podcast. I'm Travis.
I'm Max.
Me too.
And that's Brian Wampler.
I say you no call.
Yeah, I hope you can hear the phone's ringing. Hold on.
Yeah, if not, it's really awkward.
Mom, get it!
And it stopped. Okay, so
We're busy doing a podcast.
Bob had the phone the whole time.
it's probably
Trusted
Bob calling
you.
himself, saying, "I'm going to ruin your podcast or your crappy talent show."
I'm gonna ruin your crappy little talent show you got going. Rusty.
Yeah, so he called me while I was on the phone. He called me yesterday. He was like, "Hey, what are you doing Sunday? You want to go golfing?" And I was like, "Dude, I can't go golfing." He's like, "Why not?"
This is Rusty Shackelford on Facebook.
And I said,
Look him up.
my wife is having a baby tomorrow. He was like, "Oh yeah, you can't go golfing." I was like, but because he called me to tell me there were two names that he was considering for his unborn child.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that he had to ban me from those two names. And I said, "You can't ban me. Mine's coming first."
I do what I want.
I said, "So you might just not want to tell me the names."
That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
He got a new gig.
He did get a new
Yeah.
gig with
We'll talk
Eddie
about
Van
that later,
Sant.
but
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. Cool.
Yeah, got a good gig.
Cool for you, Chris. That means I get
Rusty.
to sit in with you. Rusty.
Yeah. But he told me, too, he's like, "Yeah, Brian sometimes sits in with that band. So does that mean I'm going to have to play only Wampler pedals for that gig?" I was like, "You pretty much only play Wampler pedals for every gig." He was like, "No, I do. No, I do, don't I?" I was like, "Yeah, you do." I mean, I think everything except for an Ernie Ball volume pedal. Yeah, right?
I can mod it.
Jerk.
What'd you say? I can mod
I
it?
can mod it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is an interesting one. This is more marketing than tone.
Which one?
Richard Morris. Have we read
Yeah.
some of his stuff before?
Yeah, he sends us about every week.
Okay.
Him and Roy. I didn't get anything from Roy this week.
He was at my house yesterday. Believe it or not, Roy Westonhouse and
Pictures
Smith was
are
at
not
my
true.
house. You can't capture him with a camera. It's physically impossible.
Line
It's,
dance convention?
You take pictures of him.
it's invisible. Isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just a blur. It's just a beard. Just a blur of beard. He looks just like Chuck Norris. There, I said it. Does he?
It's not as like physical though.
Huh? Doug? Roy?
Yeah,
He's
Roy.
pretty big. He's buff.
I don't think you can like.
You'd have to be with a name like Westerhouse and Smitten.
Yeah, it's born
True.
into you.
What's behind that beard?
And if this
Wait,
is the first time you
no,
listen to this
fist.
podcast, go back and listen to other podcasts.
Yeah.
It'll all
Oh, it all makes sense. Every one of them. We started episode 3. But no, I told him. I said, "Dude, if you could stay," because he went to Washington D.C. He must have had official business. And then on the way back, he stopped by through Indianapolis. I said, "Too bad you can't stay longer. I'd call Brian and see if we could do an emergency podcast
that'd
and
be
get
awesome.
you on it."
That'd be awesome, dude.
I know.
Phone podcast with Roy live.
Well, no, we would have. Yeah, we would have had him live.
Yeah.
Oh, he could be talking on the phone live. Here, just talking on the phone.
Throw up a picture of him.
Yeah.
It's just all blurry.
But, okay, Richard Morris. Okay, I'm just going to, here we go. Here's a portion of a post I made on Facebook page, the 60 Cycle Hum. What I would like to hear y'all talk about. It started with someone at work telling me about the Metasonics butt probe.
That's a pedal.
That is a pedal, okay? And he said, the more I think about it, it seems, what's the word? Short-sighted at best. If you have a product you want to sell, most companies try to make it appealing, make it appealing to as many potential buyers as possible. You're not going to walk down the aisles at Lowe's and say, "Stick it up your A flashlight," or go to Walmart and find a F your mother can of widgets. Well, that'd be kind of cool if you did. But when you consider, or maybe they just are not considering, that a decent portion of the pedal buying public are people of faith, why would you alienate those customers? They are free to characterize or package their product any way they want. I'm just saying it's kind of stupid.
Oh, I
Here we go, man. All right, I'm going to play the, for lack of better terms, the devil's advocate, because he mentioned faith, okay? Where I don't want to get too into it, but just because you have faith doesn't mean that cuss words are bad. It doesn't.
Some people.
But what I'm saying is All right, that's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother podcast.
That is.
But and I'm
That'd
one
be
I'm
on the
not
Chasing Religion podcast.
and that's the one I'm not gonna start, because my thing is I, everybody has a different version of faith. What do you call it?
Right.
Cafeteria?
Yeah, cafeteria food.
Yeah, cafeteria.
Basically,
You just take what you
unless
want.
you have my beliefs, you're wrong.
Exactly,
So-
right? Yeah. But the one thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to call out brands because it's not a bad thing, and I'm just giving specifics, like the Bondi Sick As Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously they're flirting with something there.
Mm-hmm.
The Cattle and Bread, F it, you build it.
Yeah, that series of stuff.
That one
Yeah.
I was like, you couldn't think of anything better though.
Well, no, it doesn't bother me.
That's what they are, though, man.
Yeah, that doesn't bother
they're
me.
Just being, I mean, they're just being real.
Yeah.
Isn't there a pedal called
Yeah.
the Balls Deep?
Or the super hard on.
And then
Super hard on.
super hard on.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. Because for every guitar player of faith, there's also the 18-year-old boy inside every guitar player that says,
hard on.
The traditional marketing perspective is don't piss anybody off.
Well, of course.
The problem with that is that leads to mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
So, while, I mean, yes, you may not sell it to every praise and worship guy, you're not trying to. You're not trying to
Right.
sell to everybody. You're really honing in on your core demographic. Your
That's
core
what. That's
audience.
exactly what I was going to
And
say. It's
that-
all about demographics.
Right. That guy, he wants the Metasonics butt probe. I mean,
And-
he thinks it's funny, thinks it's cool, and he's going to tell his friends, and they believe
And-
basically what he does. And
And here's a story that I'll tell that actually happened. And to me, it's like, not to bring faith into it, but where is that line drawn, and who draws that line? It's all, and what I'm saying is all based. It's all personal. It's all, what's the word? Subjective.
Sure.
So, because I had a guy call in here one day, and he said, "Hey, what power supply do you guys use?" And he said, "But I want an
I'm
American
American.
company. I don't care if it's so much made in America, but I, whatever." He was like, "What do you use?" And I was like, "Well, I use the Voodoo Lab." And he's like, "Oh no, I can't use that." I said, "Okay, can I ask why?" Because it's personally my favorite. It's very easy to use. It comes with brackets for pedal tray, and I gave all the reasons I like it. He said, "Because it says Voodoo on it. I can't take that to church." And to me, that was just something I never would have thought of in a million years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's some people listening to or watching this, people of faith, that's saying, it's not that bad. It's just,
and the flip
but
side is other people.
other
who's
people are like,
absolutely.
heck not, I wouldn't do that. You see what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. And I didn't mean to get sidetracked by religion, but what I'm saying is it's all subjective, and everybody has their own beliefs.
Right. I mean,
So-
if you made a pedal with a cross and a Jesus on it, you're going to offend the atheists.
Right.
So I mean, you're not selling to those guys. So just the way I look at it is just do what you do,
And that if that's who you are.
yeah, if that's who you are. I mean, we're not going to come out with a butt probe or whatever. It was.
Right. And
But-
and if I was to own some type of company that put out a product, I would not do anything. I would, if it was funny, but I think I have enough common sense to where I wouldn't do anything offensive.
You know what? I just recall. You know how we had the Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
When we first released that, I had quite a bit of email coming in from people that were livid. Because
Really?
that was a beast in the Bible or something along those lines.
Really?
And say, purple as a purple person of faith, as a person of faith myself, I disagree, and I said, but that's totally you're right.
Exactly.
If you
yeah, who am I to tell you you're wrong? But
yeah, if you want to believe
You guys
whatever
tell
you
me
want to
I'm
believe.
wrong all the time.
yeah, dude, my thing is I think any credibility I had in the marketing realm went out the window whenever I wanted to name this podcast what I wanted to name it, but you guys said no.
What was that?
Yeah.
Travis's little pony show.
No.
Oh, you can say that.
Okay.
You can't say
I
that.
can't say that?
No,
You
you
can-
can't. I take no responsibility for this. Don't email me.
Travis, like, we should call
Travis
it the
at
pedal file.
womperpedals.com.
I said, you know how there's X files? Well, we're talking about pedals. We should call it the pedal file.
Yeah, and
Travis at womperpedals.com.
yeah. And while it's funny, I just thought, I
Exactly.
really-
It's offensive, and I would never
don't-
do that.
I don't really want to be like that's. So what do you do? What do you do? I'm on the Pedal File podcast.
No.
But no, see, and no, in all seriousness, the reason I bring that up is while I think that's funny, like
The name.
I would the name of
The
course
name's
the
funny.
name
Yeah,
the name. Come on, right?
Yeah,
of course,
that's the
of
idea.
course. But I would never, even if Brian said, okay, if that's what you really want, I would still, no way would I do that
It's still
because
better
it's
than-
offensive. It's going to alienate people, and it is going to make people
Right.
say, I'm not listening to that podcast. I'm not supporting that podcast.
Right. But there are companies who, and maybe after this, somebody will start the pedophile.
Just give me
podcast.
credit. I don't need any money or anything. just say
credit.
Travis said it. No, don't. Actually,
Don't say
don't say that. Don't say that. I take all that back.
It's still better than romancing the tone.
Yeah, romancing the tone. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. I liked that one. Romancing the tone.
But the funny thing is, nobody not born in the 80s will get that.
Most of but then it goes back to demographics. I
Uh,
would venture to say most of our demographic was born pre 1982.
It's changed a bit now.
Hasn't?
Mm-hmm.
I mean the
because
podcast.
Max.
I mean the podcast demographic.
The podcast, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm not sure. Email Max at Wampa Pedals and tell him how old you are.
Yeah. just put your age in the header.
In the subject.
subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all
And
you
he
need.
will respond back to everyone.
I'll
with
send
the
you back my
5
number. We'll compare. What sign are you? What's your 5 interests?
ASL, please. You remember that? You remember that?
From AOL.
You remember ASL? You don't, do you?
Yeah,
know.
when the internet used to have like
Dude, they used
Dial
to
tones?
have, no chat rooms.
Chat
They used to have chat
Or
rooms.
chat rooms,
Yeah, well, ASL was age, sex, location. So you could, know who you're speaking with.
I don't want to know where they're at. This is weird.
But no, not like
right behind
street
you.
address. You say Indiana.
yeah, so you're like India, so like
That's that would be funny though. If somebody asked me, I'd be like, "Well, I'm 25. I'm a male, and I like your new couch. I love what you've done to the place."
You cleaned your windows recently.
so you take out that thorn bush.
But and granted, we got a little controversial there. But it's like, who is it? But but the thing is that's all about marketing, and I think the biggest thing you can learn from marketing is to thine own self be true. You know what I mean? Like,
Deep.
yeah, be yourself.
Right.
And
Being fake comes off pretty.
yeah,
pretty
like
easy.
if we were to release something that was like that, it would come off as if we were trying.
Right.
To where if a company like the Metatronics did the butt probe, okay, here's one that
I
walks.
gotta giggle every time you say butt pro. The 13-year-old boy was like,
See, exactly, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so it wouldn't offend Max. I probably wouldn't play it. Not that I'm offended by it. I just
But
think
Let me step
and
on this
correct
butt
me if
probe
I'm
here.
wrong, and I probably should do research before saying this, but I think I'm close. But Friedman amplifiers, they walk that fine line.
yeah,
They have an amp called the Brown Eye,
the pink taco.
and then the Pink Taco.
Mhm.
I mean, and the thing is, if we put something out like that, it would sound fake because that's not who we are.
Right.
But that's just who they are, and they own that. So that's my thing with the marketing is, if you are who you are, people will either like you or they won't.
Right.
And doesn't mean you have to change who you are.
Mhm.
Or it does mean that, depending on if you want to eat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I mean that's like that kind of leads to being mediocre if you're always
Mhm.
trying to
Play it safe.
play it safe and better not.
Right.
Better not, use pink because somebody may think that
It's girly.
it's girly and, oh.
Better not make this one rainbow because
Right.
then people may not, you
Right,
know what I
then
mean?
We'll offend the people that don't like the gays. and-
Exactly.
And the people that do like, and I say the gays
As a joke.
as a joke,
Yeah.
not, I say that. tongue in cheek.
loosely.
Yeah, Doug.
Yeah.
They're
I think
right.
rainbows. I think Skittles.
Exactly. I think rainbows, I think
Skittles.
church windows
Skittles.
right now.
Yeah, right.
So,
Hopefully you can see those on the camera so people
I
know
think
what you're talking
behind
about.
me- I'll talk-
If we can't, I can just throw them on the screen.
Yeah, I like how Max always says I can throw it on the screen like he
Nobody
does
else
it.
can. I have the power.
Yeah,
I can't shoot fireballs. You can.
yeah,
I
it's
can't wait till
happened.
you guys watch this video. I did something earlier that you guys want to know about.
Which video? This one.
This one. This
What'd you do?
podcast. You're reading, right?
Uh-huh.
The question. I'm just looking at the camera going, it's my mouth.
Oh, like
Yeah,
it's one of
I'm
those
reading. Yeah.
hockey docky movies.
Yeah, so I'm hoping like Bob can just show like my face and like open up your voice
There you go.
while I'm reading this. I thought it was kind of funny.
That doesn't translate very well on the audio podcast, though.
That's why you need to watch it.
They'll still hear me.
You'll still hear Travis.
They just won't get the joke.
They just will lose 45 seconds of me explaining it.
Well, here's the thing: is like
pull over and download this from YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry though. I mean, it's explained, but it's still not that funny. But
it's funny. It's funny.
So
why are we friends?
You know why we're friends.
It's true.
Because I have awesome amplifiers.
It's true.
This is true.
I need access to set amplifiers.
You do need access. Max informed me last night that he is going to finally work on his record.
I am.
Really?
I'm going to get knocked out. It's going to be done. It'll probably be towards the end of the summer, but... Yep.
Don't even say that. Don't give yourself a time. You are such a planner. I don't even want to hear that. You just say, I'm going to get it done.
This year.
No, because that's even
At
worse.
some point.
No, say soon.
Ish.
Soon. No, come on. He's such a planner. You should have heard him like 6 years ago. He's like, yeah, we'll probably get married, not this summer, but I'm probably gonna propose in 6 months, and that'll leave us 18 months for the engagement. And then I was like, dude, how do you plan it all out? You know how I proposed to my wife? My guitar got stolen. I was like, that's a bummer, man. Somebody stole my wife. You should be my wife. I didn't even have a ring. That's literally somebody broke into my car, stole my guitar. I was bummed, and she was like trying to console me. I was like, you know, I used to call my guitar my wife. So I was like, oh my God, somebody stole my wife. I guess I need a new one. Want to be my wife? That's how I proposed to my wife. I didn't have a ring.
We're total opposites.
We are total opposites.
That's true.
Did you pick out your clothes last night or this morning?
This morning.
Okay, I was about to make.
I'm not that. Yeah, I'm not that.
I just go to the hamper and pick out the cleanest dirty clothes I have and throw them on, except for socks and undies. You know what I mean? Come on. Hashtag swamp ass. I got him. That's a genuine. I just blew your funny fuse.
Yeah.
That's whenever something's so funny you can't even laugh. It just blows your funny fuse.
It's like, think of rebuttal. There's nothing.
Rebuttal.
Rebuttal.
Come on.
Rebuttal.
Okay, this is a bad podcast. Let's get the guitar.
Guitar.
Okay, let's talk about this.
At this point, just go to the next one.
At this point,
stay tuned till next
just
one.
go to episode 61. Right? Is this episode 6? Who knows?
I forget.
Sure.
Okay, it is now. But okay, so this one isn't so much tone related, but it is a good question. Do any of you play in tunings besides E standard? Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah. Do you?
I like E flat.
I think he means other than.
I like E flat on telling.
Right, and that is, you know what? You're right. That is not standard tuning. You are correct. But I think what he's probably asking is.
He is. I'm just.
For instance, he says F apostrophe.
No.
For instance. For instance, yeah. Open G for slide or drop D or ever play unamp. Oh, wait a minute. That's a different question. Yeah. But. Yeah, so
I do the drop in on the D sometimes.
Yeah, I do. Got him. Sorry, that's an inside joke. Although some people will get it. Drop D. Got him. Somebody will get that joke. It's a viral video. It's
not email Travis.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, Brian.
I think I know what you're actually now.
But
oh wait, that's right. I remember.
But
yep.
But the he doesn't remember. Max goes,
start with D's.
Yes.
And end with nuts.
Yeah. Drop D. Got him. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah, my son showed me that video.
I love your son. He's awesome.
Thanks, Brent.
He's awesome. But hey, it's not like he's. No offense, I don't mean this bad, but you can't blame him because it's not like he's the only one that's seen the video.
No, I know.
And repeats it. So, but yeah, for instance, for instance.
That's one word.
Yeah, I play a lot in open G. Sometimes I'll do the Lazy Man's open G. Like if what's the Zeppelin tune? Or not Zeppelin tune, ZZ Top tune. Jesus Just Left Chicago.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just detune my A string to a G.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do that. Jack Pearson, I learned something from him. He will just tune. He's in standard tuning. He'll tune his G to a G sharp, and then basically that gives you an E7 with a 4 in it. Mm-hmm. So like, what would that be? Like an E7 sus4, E sus4 7th, the dominant 7. But you know, you can play slide that way, which is really cool. I did a tune on my second record. The song's called Down at the Station. It was open G tuned down to whole step, so open F. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a song that's on the same record. The song's called Gone. And
That's cool too.
oh, thank you.
I played open C sometimes.
Do you?
Open C.
Yeah, this one's C. It's not open C. It's
Open C sharp is a little better.
yeah.
Or sometimes what I like to do as well is maybe start out with something that's more like an augmented fifth.
Okay.
On,
Sharp 5
on the B sharp.
Okay. See,
totally
I know I
being
I can actually translate that. There actually is a B sharp sometimes.
I'm just acting like I know what I'm
But-
talking about. I really don't.
Okay. But I wrote a tune to where the tuning from 6th string to 1st string, low string to high string, is C,
Mhm.
way low, C A D G C F.
Is this what you guys feel like whenever I talk about capacitors?
Maybe I don't know. No, I think you have a better understanding of what I'm speaking of than
No,
I
I
do
do.
of what you speak of.
I
But
understand a little bit.
but the only reason I did that was because I couldn't reach the chords the way I wanted to.
Mhm.
You know, so I just tuned those strings up so I could I could move my chubby fingers, my
Yeah.
Vienna sausage
It's
fingers.
funny because you're chubby.
It is funny. Although I lost 6 pounds last week.
Say, Travis slimmed down a lot.
I did.
Chasing around a little boy will do it to you.
Mhm. Yes, sir. But so yeah, I love open tuning, to be honest with you. And sometimes I'll just do, you know,
You stole my paper.
do that's still yours.
Yours is all. Mine's nice and crisp.
Yeah.
Yours is like I don't know if you
Yeah,
just
because
like,
I do
sit over
this.
and-
I do this. I grab my paper with authority.
I like nice. And, nice and
You Nance your paper. But no, I'll do drop D a lot. You know, got him. That's twice I got you today. This is great.
true.
It's great. I love making Max feel
I like
awkward.
the string stuff because you opened my mind.
To new string, I
to
did.
a whole new.
I did.
paradigm of strings.
And I did it by tricking you. Do you know that?
I don't recall. I just remember
Yeah.
that.
I put different strings on your guitar without you knowing, and then you never said anything. And then one time I was like, you notice these strings haven't gone dead? You're like, oh yeah, these strings have been on there forever. And then I broke it to you. I was like, those are elixirs. They're not your GHS.
Boom.
Boom. Boomers.
Yep. And keep in mind, I've been using Boomer since I was 7 or 8 years old.
Sorry, that was
So
great.
It took me until I was 29.
29, right? Yeah. Yeah. No,
Remainder 10.
plus a decade.
Plus a decade. Give or take a decade.
Give or take. It might have been 19. but no, so I mean, here basically he just says what sort of strings do you use, what brand necessarily, but not necessarily what brand, but what composition, any oddball alloys or anything, what gauge, heavy top, skinny bottom, perhaps. There was a brand of string. Okay. I had to have a hand surgery. I had trigger fingers, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it means basically your finger locks in a hooked position as if you're bending it.
Mhm.
And it was my left index finger, which is obviously very, very bad for a guitarist.
Mhm.
And it was extremely painful. Some people don't get the pain. I was lucky enough to get the pain. So I had to have the surgery. Long story long, now I have to play a specific gauge of string. I have to play a specific guitar neck that has to be a certain, or otherwise I either get pain or I fatigue. And it's really a drag because I'll see a cool guitar. I'm like, oh man, I'll play it, and then it hurts. And obviously, you're not going to play a guitar that causes you physical pain.
Right. Like
You
a Les
know.
Paul.
Right. Well, no, if it's got the right neck, you know. Or do you mean like getting hit with it because it's heavier?
It's like 14
Yeah, 'cause
pounds.
it's 14
Carrying
pounds.
14 pounds around.
But anyway, so the strings that I used to love, like I honestly think the best tone I've ever had in my life on a consistent basis were when I was playing the, I think they were GHS, burnished nickel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never seen them in a store. You always have to buy them online. But well, no, the Eric Johnsons I think are burnished, aren't they? I can't remember.
Never played those either.
But yeah, I used to play 11s, burnished nickels, but they're a little,
11s.
yeah, they're a little tighter, like that, and the way that the what do you call it? The actual windings on the string,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they're like a little, they feel a little more coarse, so they kind of tear your fingers up if you're not used to them. But they sound incredible for like the first 2 shows, and then they're done. You know, it's not as bad as like the boomers, but they do go dead pretty quick. But I just play the Elixirs Nano Web. That's what I play.
They're great.
Is that what you play?
Yeah, I play those. I play
10s. I play 10s.
Yeah, I try to play 11s when I can, but I do those or the NYXL by I think Diodario.
Yeah, I haven't tried those yet.
They're great.
Are they?
Absolutely great. So
Are they coated?
They're coated.
Oh, okay. So that's their thing.
That's that's kind of their answer, I think, to the Elixirs.
The Elixirs.
But then, I love them, man. They're really great.
And a brand also has the EXP, the extended play. Is that Diodario too?
Could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I like those Elixirs. 10-46.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
When I use 9s, I use the 9-46s.
Yeah. I might go back to those burnished nickel 11s on the Strat now that I reset it up.
Yeah.
Or on my Grosh. But
I like doing the bins too much to get to use 11s.
Oh, you can still bend. It just sounds better.
Yeah,
I don't have girly hands. So.
It does.
But you do. Well, you do bigger bends. You do like if you're playing a major chord, you'll go down a half step. You'll play the 2 and bend the 2 to the major third, which is a whole step bend. Right. You'll do that with your first finger with no finger behind it.
Right.
You know, that's a big bend. Like if I'm doing that consistently, I'm playing 9s. You know, so for you to do those on 10s, it's like that's huge.
It takes a while.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It was hard whenever.
That's the finger I had surgery on. So physically, I don't know if I'm able to do that without re-causing damage.
Why you need a G bender?
Yeah,
whatever. If you want to ruin a perfectly good guitar, then go for it.
Although at the guitar show, did you see that company? I got their card, but they basically just had like so many bodies, but most of them were Telecaster bodies, and they basically had like 6 different bodies all cut out already with B-benders that were just different woods. Some of them were indigenous to just the Midwest. Mm-hmm. Some of them just, it was cool. I thought of you. I was like,
indigenous to just the Midwest. It's like that's pine, southern pine.
It was some weird wood. What was it called? It started with a K.
I just remember it as bean tree.
Yeah, it was like a bean tree.
It grows like tall, skinny beans on it. I never heard of it.
Indiana corn stalks.
And it was like beautiful. This guy
really
did great
was
work.
beautiful.
Yeah. It had a weird color, but you just finish it with a trans. Yeah. Right? It'd be sweet.
Tranny.
No.
Transmission.
You're right. Got him. Hashtag got him. GOTEEM. Got him. Nothing.
I just played 12 and 13s on strings.
You did. When I first met you, you were playing 12s.
I was playing 12s, and then like after a couple of gigs of that, like a weekend shows, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, well, you weren't doing a lot of gigs at that time.
No, I think my first weekend at the Noodle, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
And then you went to 11s, and you probably play 10s now, don't you?
Yeah, 10s or 11s. Depends which guitar.
I do. Here's the thing. I really, really do notice a difference in tones from 10 to 11. I really do. I think when you play 10s, it's a sacrifice. I really do. I hate it. I wish I could say that there wasn't a difference, but I do hear it.
Oh, there's a huge difference in tone.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just can't do all the bendy stuff on 11.
Yeah. I know. My thing is I just fatigue. But if I'm not playing a lot, I'll do that. But ever since I got that Marshall Class 5, I've been playing a ton of guitar, man. Like I play probably 2 hours a day now, which when you have a kid, that's hard. Oh my gosh, total proud dad moment. I will get this picture to Bob. Okay, my son is now ruined. Okay, he's 15 months old, but I was playing and I had a small pedal board in front of me. And I was standing up, and he comes and sits down in front of my pedals, and anyone that has a light on it, especially the Folk Tape Echo, because it blinks,
right.
He just starts hitting, and I'll turn knobs, and, I don't care. It's cute. And then it happened. He put 2 and 2 together. He stands up, puts all his weight on his left leg, picks up that right leg, puts his heel on a foot switch, on a hard switch, I might say. Click. Turn the pedal on. I'm so proud. I kind of shed a tear, and I was like, my first guitar tech.
How was your first guitar tech?
he goes, I was your first guitar tech. but no, it was so cool to watch him just go up and go. Yeah. And then he looked at me like, that's what you do, Dad. I'm like, yes. Heck yeah, that's what I do.
Now don't become a drummer.
Yeah, no drums. So that's my proud dad moment.
That's awesome.
Okay, so We
That's
probably,
cool.
I probably,
wait till you get your daughter, and you'll come home and she'll have decorated your pedals with Sharpies.
dude, I will think it's awesome. You know what I want to do? No offense, boss, but I want to take empty enclosures and spray paint them all black, and then boom, that'll be my pedal board, just black. Nobody will know what they are.
Doesn't Rocket Pedals have a line of just all black?
No, I think that was their prototypes.
Oh, okay.
I think all their prototypes are black, but they still said J-Rad on them, I think, and then what they were.
Okay, I thought that was.
But they did have it. I mean, it was all like the same font and everything.
Right.
So, but I thought that was their tour series. That
Okay.
They just released that Boing spring
they?
reverb. So now they have that in the Archer, and they're the smaller enclosures.
Cool.
So that's their finished product of those prototypes.
Didn't you already do that to a pedal that was black? And
Yeah, well, I took a Sharpie to it.
Yeah, took a Sharpie to the logo. You
It
can still
wasn't.
see the
It wasn't
logo.
one of yours.
You can still see the logo. It's
Like
just all
only
black.
in certain light because it was Sharpie. If you like move it in the light, you can still see what it is. So
I was like, why did you do that? He was like, yeah.
because I was gonna put DWAI on it. Don't worry about it. So people are like, what's that? Don't worry about it. See, that's marketing, right? That doesn't offend anybody.
Sure.
Don't worry about it.
That's our next
worry about
overdrive.
You know who I got that from is your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say, like, for instance, one of his wife's favorite candies are Sour Patch Kids. So she came over. I'll never forget it because she came over and she had Sour Patch. I was go, are those Sour Patch Kids? She hit him behind her back. She goes, don't worry about it. By the way, if you want to get in instant trouble, something really fun to do is answer every question your wife says for a full day with "Don't worry about it."
No,
and
don't-
divorced.
Don't do that.
No, it's great because she's like, "How was work? Don't worry about it." Well, did you go to work? Don't worry about it. Where have you been? Don't worry about it. It doesn't end well,
I
but
was gonna
it's
say that's probably
I
bad
don't
advice.
recommend
hashtag
that.
DWAI. Nothing.
No.
I don't think I'm
Don't
gonna
worry
try
about
that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments,
Don't worry about
feel
it.
free to, if you guys have any questions or comments, don't worry about it. No, leave them in the comments section below if you're on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. And send us an email, Chasing Tone Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, Chasing Tone. Instagram, Chasing Tone Podcast. Max is telling me to shutty, so I'm going to shutty. Thanks for listening. And
Next week.
Yeah, say it again.
Next week.
These nuts. Ha! Got him! Ha! Got him!